Hello everyone and welcome back to the Musica Kirklees brass tutorial video on the final stages of cleaning and putting your instrument back together. Okay, so if you were watching the last section, what I was doing there was I just finished letting everything soak, and since I've stopped recording, what I've done is I've taken everything out of the bucket and I've given it a really good chance to dry, giving it a pat down on a bit of rag or a bit of soft cloth. Okay, so I've started putting some things back on just to show you that they're ready. But I've left a couple of bits off now just to show you what I would do personally if I was servicing my instrument. So with my third valve slide, as you know, if you've been learning to play trumpet, our bottom Ds, C sharps, D flats, quite often, well, notoriously sharp. So we have to compensate a little bit by extending that slide. So what I recommend is that it's quite a soft grease. Something like Vaseline can be a little bit sticky. But if Vaseline's all you've got, then go with it. Pop a little bit on each of the third valve slide, bits that are exposed that the slide will slide along. Okay. If you've already put your valves in, remember you should always press your valve down first before putting the slide back in. Make sure it lines up nicely and push it in. Okay. So if you don't have any fine grease, it's absolutely fine to use Vaseline. But an instrument repairer that I know gave me the tip to use a dribble of valve oil on each of those bits. Just thins down the grease a little bit, and look at that now. It's moving really smoothly. So whenever I need it to play my bottom Ds and C sharps and things, that's going to be really free. I'm just going to turn the screw again to stop that sliding out like it just did there. Okay, so that should be working nicely. Now I can sort out the finer bits of wiping all the excess grease off later on, but just so you know, you just get a cloth and wipe that off. That's easy enough. Now for my main tuning slide, if you don't have any grease, then really Vaseline is probably the best thing that you can use, or something of that sort, because we want this one to be quite stiff. We don't want this one sliding out. We're in the middle of playing and suddenly our instrument will go flat and our slide will fall off the end. So something quite thick on there like Vaseline will be absolutely fine. Okay, so I'll pop that on there, pop my slide back in. Remember to line it up carefully, and remember to make sure you've got your water key at the bottom, because as we know, gravity allows the water to fall to the lowest point on our instrument, so it's no good the water key being there. That's not going to work. Okay, so make sure you got your slide in correctly. Now the last thing I've got to do here is put my final valve in, my first valve. So I've put the other two in already, and I've put the bottoms on the valves as well. So I would recommend, before you put your instrument back together, if you do have one of these valve pull-throughs, again, just a bit of non-fibrous cloth, something that's not going to pull away like like the felt cloths you can get. So something like that. Push that in there, hold on to it, push it, twist it round, pull it back through. Again, really, if you've given it a really good soak in the warm soapy water, there shouldn't really be any need to do that. But if you want to be absolutely sure, it's a great thing to do. Okay, I'm going to put some grease on this bottom valve cap, and just careful not to cross thread the valves, because if it doesn't fit on, we can damage the thread on there. So that's nicely put back in. And now with applying valve oil, I always recommend people do is hold your trumpet horizontally or your brass instrument horizontally, pop the valve in part way. Don't squeeze the bottle. There's no need to squeeze the valve oil bottle. It'll just dribble out as soon as you touch the valve. Okay, push it and give it a really good twist round. Bounce it up and down a little bit to make sure the valve oil is working all the way around. Okay, and now the tricky bit, and this is the bit that lots of children come and say, "Oh, Mr. King, my instrument won't play, I can't get any air through." Chances are, if you've had your valve out, you've taken it out and you've not put it back in the right way. Okay, so all you need to do is just check when you put it back in that the number usually is facing towards you as if you were playing your instrument. So turn it towards you, then just turn it back anti-clockwise a little bit. Okay, as you drop the valve down, if you turn it clockwise, didn't do it there, but we should hear a click. Very light click, and it will just locate in the right place. Now, if I've got that in the wrong way, yeah, just prove this to you now, and I put my nice, clean, shiny mouthpiece back in. I can blow all week and I won't get a sound out there. So I am going to take that back out, make sure the number is facing towards me as I play. Let it click, locate, and then tighten the top up, being careful not to cross that thread. My valves are working beautifully now. Got everything back in, so I'm ready to play. There we go. So we'll see you on the next video where we're going to be having a look at some warm-ups. Thanks very much, everybody. See you all soon.